Everyone. So welcome to 4th of July. So in this video I am going to show you the concepts which I have been learning from past 1 week. Okay, the concepts are regarding the Spring security. Okay, so if you are able to recall, in my last video I have shown you the security web config along with the sign up, but in that video I told you that the login is yet to be implemented. And so in this video I'm going to show you login first, and then moving on one by one concept. Okay, so first moving to the code. Uh, so we will follow the top to down approach. In the auth controller, over here I have the login API, so for which I have created the post mapping slash login, and I am passing the user login DTO which contains certain info. So what I am doing, I am actually putting, see, I have an auth controller, then auth controller will send the data to the auth service. Okay, so we will move to the auth service. In auth service I have this login function. This login function will take that DTO. It will authenticate that DTO with the help of Spring authentication. Okay, authentication manager, for which I have created the bean of the authentication manager. So what it will do, it will authenticate with the help of the provider, that is the username password authentication token. So in it passes the email along with the password. Okay, so this was the it is the code. Now this actually in this authenticate variable we have the authenticated user. Okay, so from it we are extracting the principal, and then okay, so ignore this access token and refresh token for time being. Okay, we get the principal, and then we send the response. Okay, so this was the login. Okay, so now moving on to the another concept, that is the means what we are doing exactly. Let me show you. Okay, so the concept is authenticating request using JWT. Now in my previous video I have shown you how to create JWT token, then also implemented the sign up functionality, and now shown you the login functionality. But now we are going to see. Okay, so give me 1 minute. I think so that access token, I will then tell you it later only. Give me a minute. So this was the login workflow with the JWT. We are actually hitting the endpoint. After hitting the endpoint, we authenticate with the help of user password authentication token, and from where we get the username, then find it in our database. If it exists, we get the user. If user exists, we generate the token for it, and then provide that token. Okay, as we have created the JWT service for token purpose. Over here, as you are able to see, I have created the generate token function which generates the token. Okay, so now moving on. Okay, workflow, we will okay, the authentication workflow. So how is this authentication workflow taking place? That is important for means it is used in various aspects, so it is really important to understand. So we will understand from this diagram, JWT auth filter control flow. So what we are exactly doing, we have done the this work, this downside work, which I have explained you right now. But now what we want to do, we actually want to place and filter above the username password authentication token. Okay, so we will place it. So this is the JWT or token which I have implemented. So what it will do, it will actually fetch the authorization token from header. Okay, give me a minute, I will show you it directly. So this is the JWT filter which actually extends the once per request filter. Okay, so what it has done, it has the method do filter interval. Okay, so from the request we are actually getting the header. Okay, a header looks like this. I have shown the commented part. Okay, if the header is null or it doesn't start with the bearer, then we will pass on the data to the further filters. Okay, but if it doesn't, if it has the data, then the token will look like this. We will actually uh, split the token and choose the second part after that bearer. Okay, so we will have the token over here, and after that we will check whether we will validate that token. Over here you are able to see that we fetch the authorization token from header. I have shown you that code. Then we extract user id from that token. I will show you that. Then we validate from the db, is that user, does that user exist? If exist, then we add it in the security context holder. Okay, so if you are able to see, uh, we have extracted the header. Okay, and from the header we actually took the token. From the token we are actually extracting the username, and with that username, passing, we will take that username and pass it and check it whether it exists in our db or not, where it is a means legit user which exists. Okay, so we are actually checking, we are passing it and checking, does the user exist? If the user exists, we will have the user over here. And after we have the user, we are actually this part is implemented for the rate limiting and to protect from the DDoS attack. So what I have done, we are actually, after we get the user, if, okay, if the if we get the user, then what we are doing, we are adding it to the security context holder. So that we have done over here, as you are able to see, this line. From this security context holder we get the context, then set authentication and pass the authentication token. What is the authentication token? The means after actually having the, so I will explain you from the workflow. So okay, we validate that user from the db, and then we add it to the security context holder. Okay, and we chain it to next filter. Okay, so that's what we have done over here. We are chaining it with the next filter. Okay, so this was about authenticating request. So now we will move to the next concept. Okay, so the next concept is about the access token and refresh token. It is really important if you are understanding JWT token. Okay, so there are two tokens. First is the access and second is the refresh. So as you are able to see, the access token are short-lived and the refresh token are long-lived. Okay, so the problem uh, if we increase the expire means extend the period for the access token to live, what will happen? Okay, so if our access token are compromised, if our access token are compromised, then the hacker will actually take the access token and he will have access to our uh, means access to our account. Okay, so we cannot do that. Then secondly, as the access token are typically short lived, if we do one thing, that after the access token, we can do one thing, that either we keep increase the expiration period of the access token, or the second is that we keep it short lived. But in that case, what will happen, the user may need to actually user may need to frequently means frequently he will get logged out, and we need to we need to frequently keeping doing the login. Okay, so that's what here we have written. The user may need to re-authenticate, he need to re-authenticate frequently if a refresh token is not used. Okay, so this case is if we don't use the refresh token. Okay, so we have the two token, access and refresh. The refresh is the actually long lived. Okay, now using two token instead of one, what we are actually doing, we generate the access and refresh token, and the refresh token is then add on as a cookie. It is passed as a cookie. Okay, so it cannot be compromised. I will show you the code for it. Okay, auth service. Okay, so what we are doing, we are actually generating the access token as well as the refresh token. Okay, and then we are passing it to the login, means the user will able means the controller. Okay, so I will show you the controller. Okay, so the controller will now have the now have the access token and the refresh token. So what we are doing, we are adding the refresh token as a cookie and setting its http only as true. Okay, and returning it. So that's how we can implement two tokens. One will be long lived and the other will be short lived. If you I will show you the code for it. Give me a minute. In the JWT service, see, this is the code for generating the access token, and this is the code for generating the refresh token. There is as such not difference between them. The difference is that one is short-lived and the other one is long-lived. Okay, if short-lived is compromised, we have the long-lived. Okay, so that's what stated over here. Then it's the theory part which I have told you. But what if the refresh token is compromised? It's actually not possible. That why? Because the cookies are really safe, so it's not actually possible. Okay, so I want to show you one more thing. Give me a minute. We can also do one thing in the auth controller. If we hit the slash login, I will actually hit and show you the APIs through Postman. Give me a minute. We have done with this sign up. Slash auth slash sign up. If we hit it, actually the code is not running. I will hit the login request. Wait. Okay, so now we have generated the access token as well as the refresh token. So we can do one more thing. If we want to actually refresh a token, so for which we have done a refresh endpoint. What we are doing exactly over here, we are getting the previous refresh token. Okay, and we are actually what we are doing means what we are actually doing, we are getting the refresh token. Okay, and means if some user wants to change the refresh token, so what he can do, he can get the new refresh token with the help of the old refresh token. So that's what is coded over here. Okay, so this was the code. I will show you the refresh. Okay, if we hit the refresh, we will need this, actually this refresh token. We need to send the refresh token, so with the help of that only it will give us the new refresh token. I think so. The access token was expired. We need to run it one more time because I have set time as 60 seconds only for it. 60 seconds or something. I think so. 10. I'm not exactly sure. So we will implement it and then see. Okay. I have hit now. I have the bearer token which I am passing over here, then hitting Actually, this API was working very well, but okay, I will work on this. I'm not able to figure out what's wrong right now. Okay. Okay, we will move to the next topic. I will tell you about this. The next concept is actually I have implemented the OAuth. OAuth means what if a user wants to log in through Google, GitHub, or Facebook. So we can implement that. What we need to first add the dependency, and we only need to change one thing. That is the web security config. Okay, see what we have done. We have actually means in the security web config, we need to set the failure URL. What is the failure URL? And the second is that the success handler. So what we have done in the success handler? Let me show you. Okay, the success handler is actually extended to the simple URL authentication success handler, in which what we are doing, we are actually getting the token. Okay, and we're getting the principal from it. Then also the email, we're getting the email, and then checking that email exists. If that email exists, it's well and good. Otherwise we are creating a new user. Okay, means it's totally dependent on the means it's slightly different. We need to first go to the Google Cloud Console, then we need to create that account and then set the possible things, the front end URL, the back end URL, and according to it it will work actually. So we are also generating the access and refresh token over here, then adding it to this is the front end URL which I was talking about. We will hit this, then we have the access token, we are redirecting it over there. So this was the OAuth part. This was actually the means or diagram. Okay, so there's not much in it. It's really easy to be implemented. There there actually we have the JWT session management as well. We have the, give me a minute. Okay, so in the JWT session management, what we exactly do, we have a database in which the session ID, refresh token, and user ID, and also the last used at is stored. Okay, so if there are two friends, one friend has the login credentials for Netflix. So what he will do, if he actually will consider the JWT token, he will share his JWT token with, means actually not the JWT token, we will consider the credentials only. So if he has a subscription on Netflix, he will share his ID pass to his friend, but we want to restrict it. We want only one user should be there. Or if the JWT token means we have, for example, we are actually allowing two devices, then if two devices exist, x means if two devices are, if he has login in more than two devices, in that case what we will do, we will actually take the, means last, we will actually, if there are two, one and two, okay, so we will actually take the previous one, that is the one, and remove it and create a new session which will be the third. So that's what I have coded over here. Let me show you. Mm, service implementation over here. Okay, so what we are doing, we are how as we are generating a new session, what we will do, we will pass the refresh token. On the basis of it, we will take the list of how many sessions are present. If the session size I have set over here as 2, means consider that two login in two devices are means okay. So what we will do, if it's equal to session id, then we will actually sort it and take the first means which was actually the oldest one. We will take the oldest one and actually delete it, and we will create a new session, and we will save it. Okay, that's what we do over here. But what will happen, for the validation purpose, if we want to validate a session, then we actually check that we will pass the refresh token. We will check in the repository, do we have it. If we have it, then we will update its time and then save it. That's what we have done over here. Then moving on to the next part, that is the role based authorization. Role based authorization, first we need to understand two things: authentication, authorization. Authentications means we pass our credentials, then the credentials are verified and we get authenticated. But what is the authorization? Authorization means if there is an admin has access to do certain operations. So that's what authorization means. Then moving on, how we can implement it. To implement it, we need not do much things. That we need to only do in the web security config. We actually security web config, we actually in the request matcher, we give the means we give the path which is only which is only permitted to a specific user. So now it is been allowed for the admin slash auth, and further whatever it will be, it is only available for the admin. Okay, so this was the role based authorization. Okay, so thank you for watching this video, and I will post the few video, means I'm actually going to post the videos which I have recorded, but I have to work on it. So stay tuned for next video. Thank you.